Hello, Twitch. There we go. Okay. Let us resume our life, please. Alright, now, I don't recall exactly what we had going on. Score of the week... no, we're not doing that, so no. Okay, so right now it seems like one of the few things we can do is probably try to figure out this disease. Pawn shop. We've already gone to the pawn shop, didn't we? Right, that was the... Oh, yeah, I think so, This is the place where those people were like, oh, our customer is back. Yeah. So let's talk to Brokaw. Let's talk trades, please. I don't remember if I have anything that I want to sell you. Yes, I do. Okay. You got anything? No. Mort? I'm thinking I'm going to keep the crowbar, etc. Alright.
Gone.
Let's go to the upper ward and see what's going on out there. Oh, we should probably tell Lenny that we've done the thing. Oh, okay. I guess we've already told him. What about you? Okay, you're a townsperson, so I don't think there's anything extra with you. Excuse me? I guess we'll go to the Clerks Ward? Harmonium Officer, Diligence, Matter of Course. Excuse me? This giant of a man wears an equally immense suit of ornate red armor. He regards you cautiously, but without fear as you approach him. Greetings. A booming voice echoes from within his great helm. Greetings, citizen. I am Matter of Course, bodyguard of Diligence, 4th Magistrate of the Ward. You must excuse me, for my duties lie at her side. Farewell. One moment, I had some questions. He simply turns and begins to walk away. Okay, how about Diligence? This older, stern-looking woman is clearly on her way somewhere. When she notices your approach, she studies you with a disapproving, tight-lipped frown. Greetings. The woman nods curtly, speaking in a tone cold as ice. Yes, what is it? And watch your words, for I am Diligence, 4th Magistrate of the Ward. You're who? Diligence simply stares at you, and a faintly disgusted look upon her face. Something troubling about my appearance? I should most certainly think so. Should the Apparel Regulation Act be passed, people of your sort won't be permitted to traipse about in such a manner, half naked and filthy as you are. I'm quite clean, begging your pardon, and meaning no disrespect, madam, some cultures might find your clothes offensive. Let's see. Yeah, let's go with this one. She examines you skeptically for a moment, then nods. Your point is well taken, sir. Still, though, you cannot deny you are a rather rough-looking sort of fellow. My appearance is merely a product of my environment, madam. And a difficult life. I shouldn't be held accountable for that. Oh, but you should. How easy it is for one to blame one's life, one's surroundings, for their every failing. I can see by your manner you are well educated, sir, yet you appear to insist upon a lifestyle of wandering and senseless violence. Why not settle in Sigil and become a contributing citizen rather than some bloody-handed nomad in its streets? Choice is out of my hands, I assure you. Oh, how so? Her coldness melts away into a look of curiosity. Tell her your story, or what you know of it. Diligence, you finish telling her your story. Diligence looks shocked. That is quite a tale, sir. Were it only a tale, madam. It is my life, and I've the scars to prove it. As you noted when we first met, I believe. Yes, quite so. She smiles slightly. You had begun to wonder if she was even capable of such a thing. I wish you luck, sir, in your undertakings. May you find yourself once more. Thanks, I did have some questions for you, though. She shakes her head. I'm afraid I'm a busy woman, sir. My position as 4th Magistrate leaves me little time with which to answer your questions. I am sure another citizen could help you, however. Farewell, Lady Diligence.
I'm gone.
Interesting. Who's this? Mel Manor. This thin, sharp-faced man rushes towards you, calling for your attention. Sir, but a moment of your time. Were you perchance here to visit a tailor? What? The man breaks in. I ask, sir, because I seem to have offended the man. I had commissioned the hot-blooded fool to make me a costume, but he's thrown me out of his shop, and will not speak with me now. So, the man suddenly balls his fist and shakes them in the sky. What have I done to deserve such treatment? Nothing, I say. I was a patron. It is his duty to serve me, that churlish buffoon. What did you want from me? He focuses on you again. Oh, yes, you. Could I beg of you to enter the place and fetch my costume for me, sir? I've a masquerade to go to, and have not the time to commission another tailor. Okay, he's already told us why he doesn't fetch it himself, but I'm going to ask him anyway. He sneers, rolling his eyes. That porcine lout! I somehow offended the puffy, pump-filled jackanapes. That is a hell of a string of words to say. He's forbidden me to enter his store, and refuses to have words with me. Imagine! I'll go get it.
Updated my journal.
Oh, most excellent, sir. 'Tis this very building right here. He points to the long, low structure just north of him. Thank you, sir. Farewell. He said the word jackanapes, which is wonderful. Okay, Citizen Conclave?
All right.
What is this? Those of high-quality textiles. And nothing. Except, I'm gonna guess that she might be able to find a little something back here.
Might as well.
Oh, you know what? No, that's actually probably just a place to try on clothes. This short, heavy-set, middle-aged man is wearing clothes that seem to be spun of glittering gold. In his hands he holds a bolt of cloth strung taut across a wooden frame. He is currently embroidering some pattern into the fabric. Greetings. The man doesn't seem to acknowledge your presence. He continues to work at his embroidery, muttering under his breath. As he sews, shimmering motes of light seem to sparkle and drop from the tip of the needle. Good sir, did you hear me? The man does not look up from his work, frowning distastefully as he answers you. Yes, and I am certain that what you need is truly quite urgent. Now, if you could be silent for just a moment. Wait quietly. At last he sets down the embroidery and looks up at you. Before you can speak, however, he suddenly picks up another item and sets to work on it. Again, as he works, what looks to be tiny colored sparks drip from the fabric. You know what? I'll wait some more, dude. He finally finishes his work, setting it down to examine you. Greetings, I am Gonclaves. Or Goncalves. Now, what is it you were here to see me about? I had some questions. I hoped 'tis about garments and the like. I shan't answer anything concerning myself or the store, you know. I wanted to pick up a dustman costume. You are in luck then, sir. I happen to have one available. Its cost is 30 copper commons. I'll take it. Let's see. Gonclaves takes a set of neatly folded robes from under a counter. Here you are, sir. I would warn you, though, if this is for the upcoming masquerade of Lord Erd... Erd? Many folk are already attending as dustmen. I'll keep that in mind. Farewell, Gonclaves. I also wanted to ask you about some other stuff. What are the lights? That? Nothing, sir, but a bit of the art, which I at times weave into fabric when the fancy strikes me. Those items which I lavish enchantments upon are my most special creations, and are rarely sold. What sort of magical clothes do you have available? Gonclaves looks you over, frowning. Nothing that would fit you, that is for certain. I'd like to see what you have to offer just the same. What is this? Ooh. So he makes things for Anna. That's something. And then we can also buy a needle and thread. Okay. Well, I mean, that's nice to know. Let's go give that dude his thing. Wait, whoa. Sensate. Ah, crap, they all left anyway. I think that just means that they're from the Sensates. Yes, here it is. It cost me 30 commons.
My journal.
8,000 experience, that's very nice. Fine, fine, take it here. He tosses you 30 copper commons. Now I have to be off. Wait, Gonclave said many people were already going to the Masquerade as dustmen. Did he? Blast! I would have to arrive in such a common costume. I could go see if he has another ready. Not a bad idea, not bad at all. Quickly, see if that portly nincompoop has another, would you? I'll return with another costume.
Updated my journal.
He's gonna get wise to this. Like, absolutely. He's gonna get wise to all this. You again, sir. Good. What can I help you with? I had questions. I wanted to pick up another different costume. Gonclaves nods and smiles knowingly. The Dustman bit seemed a bit too common after all, eh? Well, it just so happens that I have a Godsman costume if you would like. It shall cost you only 50 coppers. I'll take it. Thanks, Gonclaves. Yes, here it cost me 50. Good lord, the experience. He makes a disgusted noise, snatches the costume from you, and shoves 50 coins into your hands. Now I have to be off. Farewell.
Learn some new tricks.
Ooh.
Clerks Ward, also known as Wanker City.
Oh, she's wonderful. What? Oh, I see. Okay, so she got a -3 to that. That's cool. Let's do more onto... Oh, you didn't get any more points, huh? Alright, that's fine.
Alright.
What is this? I'd stay out of there. What did he say? I'd stay out of there, citizens? Something coming? I'm just looking archway. It's dangerous down below. What is it? To Undersigil. So an Undercity. Savra Vigil? The smell of alcohol wafts heavily from this young woman, and, despite her dark skin, you can see that her face, beautiful but cruel-looking, is flushed. She is slender but well-muscled, adorned in exotic jewelry and translucent silk clothing. Numerous scars crisscross her thighs and forearms. They look to be from battle wounds. Greetings. Well, well, what have we here? A little tiefling gutter queen come crawling out of the hive? The woman pouts, talking as one would to a small child. Are you lost, little tiefling? Oh, look, it has a tail. How cute. Anna flushes, and with a snarl, blades sprout from her fists. Now, fiendkin, don't do that. The woman seems unconcerned as Anna draws her weapons, and clucks disapprovingly with her tongue. Careful now, or I'll remove that tail of yours and feed it to my dogs. Enough, girl. Apologize to her, I'll be cutting bits of you off. Let Anna handle it. You have a sharp tongue on you, wee lass. Anna spits and sharpens her blades against each other. I wonder how sweet your tacky jewels and harlot's clothes will look on you when you're dead in the street. Anna, wait. You filthy spawn of the lower plains. A bitch bastard that not even a Tanari would keep in its pen. She draws her blade. Sheath that blade, girl, or I'll sheath it in your body. What foul thing gave birth to you, sir? She grimaces in disgust and laughs harshly. And such a stench! Be you one of death's bastards? You notice a curved long knife hanging at her hip. Her hand rests loosely upon its pommel. Want me to slap this barmy chit down, chief? No, Mort, I'll handle this. Oh, this I have to see. So tell me, sirrah, is it that you stink like the hive's gutters, or that its gutters stink like you? What's the matter with you? The matter is a most ugly one, sirrah, she sneers distastefully. Simply looking at you raises the bile in my throat. Wasn't that what your mother said when you were birthed? Oh, God. She stares at you a moment, surprised, before snarling and reaching for her dagger. Call for the guards. She gasps in shock. You fool, are you mad? The guards would never take your word over mine. You're obviously drunk, and those scars of yours mark you as the fighting sort. You probably have a reputation for this sort of thing already. I think they just might. She stares hard at you, grinding her teeth. Let us drop the whole matter, then, and be on our separate ways. Agreed, you've already wasted enough of my time. Farewell. Weirdo. There's a lot of sensates around here. I wonder what's going on. Seb Lash the Onyx. This tall, thin man, dressed in heavy crimson robes, has sharp, pinched features. He bows regally as you approach him. I am Seb Lash, oft called Seb Lash the Onyx, future mage tutor for the Civic Feast Hall, or Fest Hall. You've business with me, I take it? No, just some questions. About what, Not the ward and the like, I hope. Plenty of more common folk could answer such questions, and I'd just as soon direct you to one of them. Why are you called the Onyx? A long tale which I'll shorten to save my breath. In my youth I was called Seb Lash the Golden, for I was said to have a heart of gold, small, hard, and yellow. Well, I cursed the fool who started that, so that he could only speak from his arse and defecate through his mouth. The Onyx appellation, along the same lines as the Golden, though admittedly somewhat less clever, soon followed. In any case, I'm a much kinder fellow now, far less prone to laying curses and the like. I'm not certain if I deserve the name any longer. You cursed him so that... Oh, God. You cursed him so that what? Oh, yes, you heard right. Seb Lash sighs happily and chuckles to himself. That sort of thing is why I'm known as the Master of Curses, you know. Okay. What did you mean by future mage tutor of the Fest Hall? Wait a minute. Do you know of a cursed man named Reekwind?
Updated my journal.
Reek? Seb Lash's eyebrows suddenly dart up. Oh yes, Jumble Murder Sense cursed that man, if I recall correctly. Why? Seeking to get his curse undone. Good luck. Only Jumble can do that, you know. Where would I find this Jumble Murder Sense? Within the Civic Feast Hall, I suppose. Or Fest Hall. Geez, why do I keep saying Feast Hall? A short, portly fellow with a leering smile. Never speaks, so you'll be hard-pressed to get anything out of him. I had some other questions for you, though. Future mage tutor of Fest Hall.
Updated my journal.
It's a prestigious position to be an official tutor in one of the Feast Hall's training chambers. It's my intention to one day take the position of mage's tutor, but the title's currently in the possession of the Lady Thorncombe. If only I could somehow prove that I'd be superior tutor. I had some other questions for you then, except that I don't. Let's see. So there's two sensates, some sensates. Is this the Fest Hall? The Civic Fest Hall. Alright, let's take a quick jaunt around. Just see what... Ooh, excuse me, what else there is. Is this a... Okay, you're just a harlot then. Elbrand. Fortune Teller? That seems potentially ominous. Old Poet. Alright, we'll give you a shot. This kind-of-looking old man spares you only the briefest of glances before returning to his recitation. I will not be heckling any poets. Eli Havelock? This narrow-eyed, sharp-faced man is scanning his surroundings with a look of vague disinterest, pausing occasionally to look down and pick at his fingernails. Despite being clothed in silk and velvet finery, he manages to look unsavory and more than a little dangerous. Greetings. The man looks your way. His eyes are dark slits like narrow stab wounds beneath his brow. His voice is low and gruff despite his slender build. Pike off. Not yet, I have some questions. Yeah, I don't want to threaten him just yet. You think I wander the ward looking for strangers to spill dark for? Now pike off. Why are you here then? To be surly with passers-by? Yeah, we'll go with that. He stands quiet for a moment, then breaks a crooked smile. That's good, that. He considers you for a moment. I'm a tutor at the Civic Fest Hall. Name's Havelock. Eli Havelock. As a veteran scout, I teach the art of subterfuge. You mean thievery. His lips curl up in a disgusted sneer. Thieves and thievery, it always is. 5 tours I spent as a reconnaissance operative in the War of Lies. Scout is my title. Scout. I teach the ways of stealth and spycraft, not common thievery. Alright, that's... I just wanted to know what you were all about, that's it. Alright, that is a harlot. Jalmi's Messenger. Wait, what? Can I actually head further down here? I can. Harmonium Officer, Harmonium Officer. Building cafe patron. Dude, there is so much stuff around here. What the heck? Elwin. This tall, slender woman occasionally looks up from her cup of wine to scan the surrounding patrons and passers-by. Her facial features are elegantly exotic, and her eyes, a brilliant gold in color, catch the light sparkling as she looks about. She regards you carefully for a moment before replying. She speaks slowly and carefully, avoiding direct eye contact with you. I, Elwin, return your greetings. Are you looking for someone? She nods, staring wistfully into her cup of wine. Nemel is her name, a friend of mine. Elwin's. I, Elwin, worry for her in this place and wonder why she hasn't come to meet me, Elwin, yet. I could help you find her if you want.
Updated my journal.
You would do this? She looks up from her cup, smiling, and you're suddenly overcome with a sense of hope and joyous gratitude. Seeing you tense up, she covers her mouth and averts her eyes once more, and the feelings fade to nothing. I, Elwin, thank you. What was that? What was what kind, stranger? She bites her lower lip. I, Elwin, know not of which you speak. Very well, what does Nemel look like? She appears as I, Elwin, do, but with raven hair and eyes of bright violet. I'll tell her you're waiting here for her, and farewell. Barkeep. The smiling man nods cheerfully at you as you approach. Welcome to my cafe, good sir. What might I serve you? Some wine, perhaps? No wine, but I do have questions. The man gives you a helpless sort of look. Humblest apologies, sir, but I make it a policy to serve drinks and nothing more. You shall have to look elsewhere for conversation, I'm afraid. Are you certain you wouldn't like a drink? Or some bread and cheese, perhaps? I do like bread and cheese, but I can't select an option for that. Let's see, cafe patrons. Let me get out of the way for a second here. Let's go inside. Okay, nothing in here. Not that I would take it anyway, because I don't want to steal from these poor people.
Gone.
What is this? The apothecary. The colored glass of this window is cut to resemble large gems. Okay, so these are all the same. Pestle kiln. You see a wall-eyed fellow whose skin seems to writhe and ripple across his entire body. He is smacking his chapped lips with a blotched tongue. As you watch, his right eye moves independently of the left, focusing on you. A second later, the left one flicks to look your way, then reverts to the original position. The right eye blinks. A strange gurgling comes from his throat. What the hell is up with this dude? The man gives a lopsided grin and points at himself with his right thumb. Pestle, I'm called. The good alchemist. He points at himself again, this time with his left index finger. The name's Kiln. Need you something? Are you okay? I am. His throat convulses for a moment, then relaxes. A large green glowing pustule suddenly bursts from the side of his neck. Something you need then, sir? Gah! His throat clenches again, and a wave of quivering flesh swallows the blistering green pustule back beneath the skin of his throat. He coughs violently for a moment, then seems to relax. Whew. What the hell happened to you? The left eye rolls upward in exasperation. The right eye looks askance. Too much to drink? Too much of what, though? Potions to drink? Too many potions. His mouth slides down beneath his chin. What? His left nostril forms another one. The most I ever drank, that's for sure. Of polymorphin they were, and brewed in limbo. Anything I could do to help? The man's eyes turn inwards to look at each other, then back to you. Dunno. He shudders. The mouth below his chin moves up to envelop the one his nostril formed. This sort of thing happens quite often. We can't seem to help but sample the stock. If you find a way to help, the two of us would be grateful, sir. I have some other questions. Half his mouth curls down into a frown. He shakes his head. Work in the stockroom all day, I do. He shudders violently, suddenly. A third eye pops open over the bridge of his nose. The left one shifts sideways as the new eye takes its place. I speak only of the store, sir. That said, the skin of his face seems to eat the new eye, and the left one returns to its old location. What the hell is... This guy is a freaking weirdo.
Done.
Okay, Dakon, do you know anything about this crap?
What
You're
is
from
your
Limbo.
will?
No. Okay, well, I thought maybe, because, you know, he's from Limbo.
All right.
What the hell is this? The Curiosity Shop. Shop-A. Performance artist. This man's face has been painted white. A pair of arched eyebrows have been penciled into his brow, and red powder has been used to make small circles on his cheeks and accentuate his lips. He says something, but you can't hear him. His hands are pressed up against what looks to be an invisible wall. What? I can't hear you. He hangs his head, sighs soundlessly, and shrugs. He then steps back a bit, waves farewell to you, and begins to pantomime various actions. Pulling on a rope, walking downstairs, and so on. See if you can touch him. You reach out to touch the man, but your hand is stayed by some unseen force. The performance artist appears to be trapped in some sort of invisible box or cage. You're kidding. That's actually amazing. Thug Boss. This young but well-muscled thug, while certainly well-armed and large enough to be dangerous, seems awfully clean for a typical street thug, or a street tough. He's carrying a massive axe in one hand and a steel box in the other. As you near him, he puffs up and scowls at you. What are you looking at, sod? Pike off before I have to scrag you. Anna. Scrag? What in the 9 planes of Bator are you talking about? You idiot. Scrag's nagged, nipped, yanked by the hardheads. You clueless Addlecove Burke. I don't know what the hell she's saying. He glares, daggers at Anna, but says nothing. You do seem a little well-groomed for a thug. Stop shaking your bone box, Leatherhead. This is my territory, and you'll be leaving it quick if you don't want my bloods to tear you apart. Anna snickers, shaking her head. Rattle, you sod. Rattling your bone box, it is. I'd so like to see how long you last dropped smack in the middle of the hive, acting as you are. Anna turns to you. Come on, let's be off. No use wasting our time with this wee-stemmed basher would-be. His face flushes angrily as he gnashes his teeth in frustration. That's it. You've pike and asked for it. Get him, Bloods. He raises his axe and leaps to attack. Fight. Really? This is going to be pathetic. Get pacified, you scum.
All right.
Okay, please stop poking me, though. And then also, if you could just, like, taunt this guy.
Father of trolls.
Okay, try pacify again. No, it did not work. Okay. Mort, could you please get this man away from me?
Bastard.
My god, it's gonna take so many. Okay, you know what? Please just poke him to death.
All right.
Okay, so these guys actually did hit kind of hard.
What you be wanting now as well?
Okay, why can't I scroll down, please? Steel box? What? This sturdy steel box has a thick leather handle on the top, but there's no apparent way to open the thing. It appears to be welded shut. There are a number of very narrow slits along one side, though you can't quite see into the box through them. A sickly, sweet, rotting smell wafts out from the slits. I don't like the way that sounds. Wait a minute. Didn't I have a punching dagger on somebody that I wanted to give to Anna? Or no, maybe there was a magic one that I was thinking about. Yeah, I think maybe there was a magic one that I was thinking about. Enjoying a stroll through the Clerks Ward, are we? I am indeed, Tailor. I am. What is this? Phenom the Linguist's house. Or home. Hey, pal.
Done.
No, please talk to this man. Thank you. This short, scholarly man, a tight, nervous frown on his face, looks you up and down. Greetings, I'm Phenon. I must beg your pardon, sir, but I care little for guests, invited otherwise, so unless you've business with me, I would ask you to leave. I did have some questions for you. I would have you know that I am a scholar and a linguist, sir. While I shall happily entertain any questions regarding my field of study, language, and the like, I can be of no help to you in other matters. Never mind, then. So are you, man? How are things going?
Right.
What is this? Art and Curio Galleria. Wrought iron bars seem to serve as decoration rather than security measures. What is this? Undersigle. Well, we gotta go cure Reekwind of his poops. Is this another cafe? Is that all this is?
Done. I'm gone.
Wait, what was this? The Advocate's home.
I'm gone.
Advocate. This guy's name is just Advocate. This man is dressed in soft blue robes, covered with intricate designs. Despite their opulence, however, the robes look wrinkled and worn. You place the man's age somewhere between middle-aged and early 60s. The worry lines make an exact determination difficult. As you enter, the man turns slowly towards you. As he does, you are suddenly struck with the terrible sense that you know this man, or did at one time. Greetings. The man squints as if trying to place you. Yes, is there something that I can help you with? Who are you?
Updated my journal.
I am Giannis. He studies you and frowns. Were you looking for me? I don't know. What is this place? I am an advocate. These are my offices. Giannis's voice takes on an irritated edge. Do you seek counsel? If not, perhaps you had best test your curiosities elsewhere. An advocate, what is that?
Updated my journal.
Mort breaks in with a whisper. He's saying he's a lawyer, a counselor. One of those Burks who rattle their bone boxes at the courts. Giannis's frown deepens. An advocate provides counsel, helps others navigate the labyrinths of Sigel's legal system, arranges legacies for citizens to ensure that their property is divided as they choose upon death, defends those in Sigel's courts who have been wrongly accused. He pauses. Did you need help in any of these areas? Legacies? I'm doing alright, man. I'm doing alright. There are contracts that are deliverable at the death of the client. They provide specifics on how a person's possessions are to be divided upon the event of their demise. I have also heard them called wills. Are they anything like the Dustman contracts? Oh my, no. The Dustman contracts, while they are deliverable at the time of the client's death, bequeath the client's body to the Dustmen. Not a pleasant business at all, but some who are poor of means find the Dustman contract to be a means of support. How do one go about invalidating a Dustman contract? Let's see. Very well, what is it I can help you with? Excuse me for asking, but are you all right? You must excuse me, as of late I have been beset by troubles. I'm afraid it has been a rather trying time these past few years. Anything I could help with? No, there is little that can be done. He nods at you. Nevertheless, I appreciate your offer. Thank you. Perhaps talking about your troubles will help ease your mind? Yana sighs. I do not wish to burden you. I lost my daughter not long ago. There was also the fire, but That is another matter. Tell me of your daughter. Instantly, Anna seems to collapse into himself. Yes, his businesslike facade drains from his face, to be replaced with cold despair. My daughter, Dianara, passed away some time ago. Oh no. Tell me about her. What was she like? Dianara? She was young. She had recently joined the Society of Sensation, the Sensates. Not an unpleasant faction, but she had also met someone there. She followed him on a journey, and there she died. Her he looks pained. Was not even able to recover her body. Say she was a let's see, do you know anything about this man she journeyed with? Do you know where she went on this journey?
Updated my journal.
She never said. I'm not certain she was capable of saying where they had gone. It must have been a terrible place. Do you know anything about the man she journeyed with? Little. I barely even know of his existence, or knew of his existence until she had departed. By then, it was too late to have known him. I believe the man was me. I have forgotten much. Oh, man. Yeah. You! Yanis looks you up and down. You are the one? And you say you have forgotten? Yanis draws himself up. He looks like he is squaring himself for a battle. You have forgotten, but the incident was not so long ago. How can this be? I have a strange condition. I lose myself for a time. Anything you can tell me about myself or your daughter would be invaluable. Countless liars have I known in my tenure in this city. Yanis studies you intently. You do not strike me as one of them, at least in this matter. He sighs. If you truly do not remember, then whatever befell you and my daughter on your journey must have left deep scars. I'm inclined to agree. Then I ask your word on this. If your memory returns and you discover what has happened to my daughter, return to me so that my mind may at last be at rest on this matter. I will do that. Very well then. Now leave. I wish to be alone with my thoughts. Farewell then. Crap. I do want to ask you some other questions though. Looks as if he hasn't been sleeping, huh? You again. Yanis frowns slightly as he stares at you. What is it that you want this time? I had some questions for you. Can you tell me about the fire? There is nothing much to say about the matter. It was a strange, localized fire. I cannot imagine what would have been precious in the documents that were burned, but someone must have wanted them destroyed. And you're locating the person responsible. Can you tell me what was burned? Tell me what was burned. A number of old legacies were burned, and some mementos and other keepsakes of value only to me. Perhaps there's something else you can help me with? You know, let's go about the fire again. Any luck for locating the person responsible? No, either the Harmonium nor the Mercy Killers have had any fortune in locating the person responsible. We got your daughter again. Yeah, we're gonna tell him about the ghost. What? Yanis looks flustered. What did you just say? Her spirit now resides in the memorial hall. I spoke to her for a time, and she seems to be in distress. You spoke to her? Yanis seems to become more confused by the moment. What distresses her? I'm not certain. I wasn't able to make out what she was saying. Me, apparently. She said that she loved me, and that I had loved her, and that I had forsaken her. Very well, then. Now leave. I wish to be alone with my thoughts. All right. Well, you know, I thought maybe, but... Maybe we gotta go talk to Dianara.
I'm gone.
See if that will help. Ah, Namel! This tall, slender woman, sipping wine from a small ceramic cup, appears to be looking for someone. Her facial features are elegantly exotic, and the woman's ears, though partially covered by her long hair, can be seen to come to sharp points, so she's an elf. Or, well, maybe not. I guess she could be an Eladrin or a whole bunch of other things. The woman turns to face you, violet eyes flashing like flawless chips of amethyst. Her speech is as music. You can hear a faint musical tinkling. 100 tiny crystal bells as she speaks. Each word lingers in your ears, as if they were unwilling to relinquish the exquisite sound. Namel turned to face the scarred, dour stranger. She asked what he wished of her. Wow. Ha! Anna sneers at Mort. Stab your drooling. Your Lyran skull. My, what a hot-blooded little chit. Starved for attention? I could drool over you, too, if you're just jealous. Mort starts floating towards Anna, making wet, slavering noises. Oh, my lord. Get a hair's breadth closer, Skull, and I'll see to it that not one of your chattering teeth lies within 100 paces of another. Mort stops abruptly, turning away while muttering unintelligibly. Dude, I love Mort. He's so wonderful. Let's see. Your Namel, I was told you know the command word for this decanter. Oh, that's right! The woman makes no move to touch or examine the decanter, but only speaks. Namel took it from the stranger, turning it in her hands. Had she seen its like before, she thought. Perhaps, yes, she remembered now. She returned the decanter, whispering into his ear as she did so.
Updated my journal.
You realize now the word. You realize you know the word now. Nilden. Okay, whatever that word is. There's certain woman never whispered it to you, but merely said she did. She blinks at you. Would the stranger leave her now, satisfied with what she has told him? Not yet. Your friend Elwin is looking for you.
Updated my journal.
Namel's lips form a perfect smile. An infectious happiness radiates from her, clinging to you like sweet-smelling warmth. Namel was overjoyed to hear of her friend. Was Elwin close by? She's at another cafe east of here, across this part of the ward. Namel thanked the man for his wondrous news. Soon she would go to visit her oldest friend, Elwin. Now, though, she would reward the stranger. No, that's all right. I don't need a reward. Namel touches her index finger to her lips, making a faint hushing noise. She would draw the stranger close, laying her hand upon his chest and kissing the pale, leathery skin on of his cheek. Life would flow into him, invigorating him. This, then, was to be his reward. Wait. As you wait, there is a light tingling sensation upon your cheek and chest. The feeling spreads across the whole of your body, and you begin to feel stronger, more animated. Thank you. I had some other questions. That 8,000 experience, that's crazy. That is a very experienceful kiss. Namel listened to the stranger's questions, but could answer none. He would have to seek his answers elsewhere, but I haven't even asked. Namel smiles at you, slowly shaking her head, your face reflected in her shimmering eyes. Frustrated, confused, he at last gave up. It was clear this woman possessed no more knowledge that was of use to him. Or, if she did, she could not be persuaded to share it. What? No, just let me ask you something. You open your mouth, but no words come out. Try as you might, you cannot question her. Namel shakes her head, sadly. Farewell, then. You freaking weirdo? What is... Wait, I can't... Cafe...
Yeah, let's sample a little poodle, eh?
What does this say? Max HP plus 3. Oh, I didn't even see that. Holy crap. Ponder thought. Is that you? No, you're both cafe patrons. What the heck? Oh yeah, okay, Abel Ponder thought. This older man looks somewhat bookish. His clothing and accessories are extremely clean, neat, and well cared for, and he often pauses to brush some fleck of dust or lint off of them. A symbol resembling a stylized dagger piercing upwards through a flame is embroidered upon his tunic. Greetings. Sorry about that. Got the yawn. It's been a long day. The man's eyes pass over you, gleaming as they fix on Mort. Oh, I say, would you look at that, a floating skull? Mort turns and looks behind him. Where? Where? The man gasps, by the unjust laws of, tyranny, the merciless. Who? He suddenly covers his mouth and looks at Anna apologetically. Sorry, the man was a terrible tyrant, now long dead. His name should never be spoken so. 'Tis rather vulgar. My deepest apologies, milady. I did not mean to offend. Anna shrugs, rolling her eyes. Talk as you like, Cutter. I care not a whit for what you say. Unless you're rattling your bone box about me, that is. Try and get his attention. He turns back to Mort. But behold, a skull, buoyant, levitating off the ground, cognitive in its environment, and possessing hearing, speaking, and seeing capabilities. He turns to you as if you are suddenly a confidant. This is truly one of the reasons that the plains shall never become dull to me, sir. Just when you think you have seen everything, the plains show you yet another corner to peer around. And he raises his hand gloriously. Suddenly, whole new wondrous vistas are open to you. Actually, the talking floating skull thing is quite common. Right up there with self-resurrecting amnesiacs scouring Sigil for their lost identities. The man ignores you, looking to Mort instead. I say, Skull, he begins. Mort gasps, look behind you, another floating skull! Let Mort have his fun. Oh my god. The man seems to have forgotten you entirely, instead turning in shock to look for this other floating skull. No, where? Where? Right where I'm pointing, there! Where? I cannot see it! Mort speaks with mocking exasperation. Oh, you just missed it. A whole parade of them. Probably never happen again in a million revolutions of the Great Ring. He turns and harumphs. I sense you also possess a peculiar degree of mockery. Mort bobs slightly as if shrugging. I prefer to refer to it as keen insights into human nature. Get the man's attention again. He suddenly seems to see you for the first time. The man's eyes widen. By the unjust laws of tyranny. He catches himself looking apologetic. I say, are you all right? You look, he fumbles for the words, hurt. I'm all right. Aye, it hurts to look at him. It does. Very amusing, Anna. I had some questions, sir. The man nods eagerly. Of course, of course. I'm always most happy to answer what questions I can, young sir. Let's see. What do you know of Revel Puzzlewell? Give me a second here. Revel, if she truly existed, and there is little to prove that she did, was a night hag, one of the inhabitants of the Grey Waste, one of the lower planes, and believed by some to be the worst of the lower planes. Continue to listen. He continues, as the legend goes, Revel was mazed several centuries ago. She was believed a being... wait a minute. She was believed of being a mistress of many strange magics, and apparently her presence in Sigil constituted a threat to the lady. I'm afraid that I know little about her. That's questions about you. Me? Certainly. Who are you? Why, I am Abel Ponderthought. Alright. What do you do here? I passed my administration exam just recently and have achieved a status of an A9, a research consultant in the Hall of Records, one of the many aides specialized in Sigil's physical laws and history. I research topics and laws of interest to others. It is quite fascinating, really. What's that symbol embroidered on your tunic mean? Why, it is the symbol of the Fraternity of Order. Ooh! We are responsible for much of the lawmaking and running of the courts here in Sigil. Many judges, advocates, and clerks are members of the Order, and we are pleased to be able to help enforce Sigil's laws and keep things orderly. We make a strident effort to learn all laws, whether they pertain to Sigil, the Plains, or the multiverse itself. What does the Fraternity of Order believe? The Fraternity of Order believes that the multiverse is governed by laws. When one knows all the laws, one will understand the multiverse. That is our goal. By understanding the laws, their limits, we learn to avoid certain laws. If you don't mind me asking, what sort of benefits are there in the position? Well, our fraternity allows us to read languages quite easily, and we may use some rules of the multiverse on occasion to suit our benefits. Alright, some other questions. What do you know of this place? I'll admit I know little of this part of the Clerks Ward, sir, but please ask. Why is it called the Why is it called the Clerks Ward? What's of interest around here? There is one of the finest advocates in Sigil located here. The Civic Fest Hall, home to the Society of Sensation, is also located nearby. He lowers his voice. And the brothel, sir, of slanting intellectual lusts. Excuse me? Tell me of the brothel. He nods, looking somewhat embarrassed. Yes, well, I am known to go there for the conversation. He glances at Anna, then flushes an even deeper red. 'Tis a large round building in the center of this part of the ward. Any kind of work available locally? None of the temporary sort, no. Okay, I think that's going to be it for asking this guy. What is this? This just another bar? Okay, yeah, okay. I'm not going to bother looking at all this guy's stuff, because, I mean, he's just a barkeep. I don't want to, you know, like, rob him or anything. Because that would be rude. So wait, this big old building here.
Gold Ward, also known as Wanker City.
Wait, did I already talk to you? The slender young man approaches you wearing a somewhat worried expression. 1,000 pardons, sir, but I am looking for a certain man, and I think you might be able to help me. Oh, how so? I'm a messenger, sir, who seeks a man it said cannot die, a scarred man for whom death is nothing but the most trivial of annoyances. You match the admittedly vague description I was given, sir, and I had wondered if you were he. Yeah? He nods, then bows deeply to you. A message for you, then, sir. Mistress Jalmi of the House Sirma, a lady of high standing, has sent me. Mistress Jalmi would meet you in the Civic Fest Hall, where she would make a proposal of which I know nothing to you. Or a proposal of which I know nothing to you. Should you choose to seek her out, she wears green silks trimmed with gold, and has hair the color of blue steel. That is the extent of my message, sir. Farewell. Wait, where's the Civic Fest Hall?
Updated my journal.
In the northeastern corner of this part of the Clerks Ward, sir. 'Tis a large structure, and should be easy to spot. Farewell for now. See ya? I guess?
All right.
It's a weird door, dude. Fall from Grace. Brothel patron. Okay, let's get a look around. Wait, Modrons? What the hell are Modrons doing in here? Vivian. Stop, please. This tall, elegant woman, with her sharp features and regal demeanor, is a striking example of aristocratic beauty. Her clothes appear to be spun of silver thread, and a small phial dangles from her necklace. She is perfumed with an exotic, erotic scent that seems to draw you towards her. Greetings. She looks you over, arching an eyebrow with what you sense to be disdain. Greetings, my name is Vivian, and am I to presume I am being summoned? No, I just had some questions. She nods imperiously. Go on, then. What's that incredible smell? What's that file you've got around your necklace? Or on your necklace? Tell me about this place. Oh, boy. Do you know anything about Ravel Puzzlewell? Isn't she some historical figure? I can't quite recall. Who is she? A night hag from Sigel's past, I think.
Updated my journal.
I hope she stays in the past, then. Night hags are foul creatures, besmirching all femininity everywhere in the plains. She suddenly pauses. You may wish to ask Yves. She knows all sorts of peculiar little tales. I had another question, though. What are you doing here? Aside from my work as a student here, I am looking for something. Actually, would you not happen to have smelled it, would you? Smelled it? Yes, I have a peculiar scent that seems to have gone, wandering, to somewhat difficult to keep in one place. I hope that someone did not take it by accident. Though you never know with the ladies around here. She frowns. So, by any chance, have you smelled it somewhere? You smell quite nice right now, you know. She scowls for a moment, then smiles at you. Yes, yes, and I thank you for your compliment, but I assure you that particular aroma is nothing to my personal scent. She sighs. How can a scent go wandering? Vivian shakes her head. I had meant to infer that it had been taken. The ladies here are a bit jealous at times, and have been known to take my various perfumes for themselves. This time, though, someone has absconded with my own personal scent. I worked on that scent, perfected it, and now, poof, it is gone. I need not bear such annoyances. Vivian stomps her feet. I want that scent back, and I want it now. How would you know if you found it? I can help. Vivian seems dubious. Are you certain? Do you not wish to? I do not wish to impose. No imposition. I am pleased to help such a lovely woman as yourself. It still sounds. I don't like saying that because it sounds like I'm like, oh, because you're so nice looking, that's why I'll help you. Instead of just like, I'll help you because, you know, you need help. Anna mumbles something angrily. You catch the words piking and Egypt stick. Vivian smiles and nods to you. You are too kind. Very well. If you run across it, please let me know. I am somewhat anxious to get it back. A one-of-a-kind scent, really. Let me ask you something else. Let's see. Okay, we've asked about some of this stuff already with some other people. What can you tell me about this place? Mistress Grace's brothel. It is a school where she tutors us in the art of language and conversation, the ability to affect another with one's words, and to gain new insights into both them and ourselves. For many, it is in preparation to become a member of the Society of Sensation. The Society of Sensation. Vivian sighs. You may wish to ask Fall from Grace, or better yet, someone at the Civic Fest Hall about the Sensates. They would be happy to speak with you, I am certain. That's all I wish to know. Thank you. Echo. Okay, you know what? Hang on. Let's go talk to this Fall from Grace person. Although I am also interested in speaking with the Modrons. Delora. I know I said I was going to go talk to Fall from Grace, but I want to talk to this person as well. This dark-haired, pale-skinned woman has a cultured, refined look about her. As she turns to you, you note that her eyes, which you had previously thought to be gray, are the color of brushed steel. Greetings. The woman's voice is soft, calm, and without inflection. It has a certain far-away quality, as if someone somehow not attached to her. Greetings, I am called Delora. May I serve you somehow? In what ways can you serve me, Delora? She blinks her eyes, then touches her hand to her heart, bowing her head slightly. I am able to debate any scholarly or academic matter quite proficiently. If that is your wish, I am also well versed in various games of strategy, should you wish to play something, though I have the materials for a few such games here. No, I'm not saying this. Debate, you say? We could play a game then. Actually, I could use... let's do debate. She nods. That is correct. I'm neither a tome nor a tutor. I have no desire to educate my patrons. Should you have a matter to discuss, however, the 15 factions and their effects on Sigillian politics, the most effective battle stratagems for warring in Acheron, the meaning of existence itself, I would be most pleased to choose a counterpoint and engage you in debate. Let's see, the Society of Sensation. Only Burks you'd find willingly bathing in the memory-draining waters of the river Styx just to make everything new again. That sounds horrible. Choose a topic, see if you can best her. You choose a topic and begin. The debate lasts a long time as the two of you exchange points and counterpoints, each attempting to methodically undermine the other's position. As you speak, a strange feeling begins to come over you, a memory trying to surface. Ooh, allow the memory to surface. Memories of a great hall begin to form in your mind, a vast place full of well-dressed elites. A formal ball was taking place. Before you was a small, impeccably dressed fellow who wore a golden medallion. It was emblazoned with a symbol you dimly recall as the Sign of One. The two of you stood in a circle of onlookers who've gathered to listen to your debate. Continue the memory. But that's impossible, the man was saying, looking perplexed. Oh, but it is, you recall yourself replying. I've made several inarguable points and given you a number of examples. You simply don't exist. But you can't! Were I to accept that, I'd continue the memory. Yes, you'd cease to exist. And without a flash of light or puff of smoke, with no fanfare of any sort, the man simply is gone. What? Horrible. It's the most popular faction in Sigil, lest you include every clueless in the Free League. Much that... I don't know, I just, like... I get the draw of, like, wanting things to be new, but, man... I don't know, like... I think I would only step in there so I could make Dark Souls new to me again. The onlookers oohed and awed, some clapped. You remember giving a flourishing bow and walking away, a small, satisfied smile upon your lips. You suddenly realize Delora is watching you closely. Are you feeling well? We might finish our discussion at another time, should you like. No, let's continue the debate. As hard-pressed as you are to beat Delora's infallible sense of logic, you eventually win out. She merely nods in approval. You are a most skilled debater. This there is no denying. I do feel, though, that had I time to perform some research, you might not have bested me. Perhaps not. I consider that an unfair advantage, though. No, I'll just say thanks. Delora nods. If you would like, we can debate once more upon the same topic. I could argue your position this time, should you desire it. Wait, are you always so ruthless in debate? Not right now, thanks. Could we play a game? I am interested to see what's in the Civic Fest Hall then. Let's see. Delora nods. Mistress Grace instructed me to show no mercy, for another of her students always allows a patron to win after a lengthy debate. It was Mistress Grace's desire that I provide a different sort of experience for the clientele. I see. Could we play a game now? Of course. Is there anything in particular you would like to play? No, I don't really remember any games. Here then, allow me to show you. Delora brings out a thin, lacquered box, which unfolds into a small board, marked with a grid. The contents of the box prove to be a number of polished stone chips, half of them black, half of them white. This game goes by many names. Shall I explain the rules to you? Yes, please. Delora explains to you the rules of the game, how the chips are moved, how one bests one's opponent. It seems somehow faintly familiar to you. The rules are simple, yes? But a great deal of complexity lies within the game itself. It takes a great deal of time to master. Shall we play? Yes. As you play, you come to realize that you've done so before. You recall various ploys and strategies that have won you previous games, and employ every trick you know to beat her. Suddenly a strange feeling comes over you, a memory trying to surface. Definitely allow that to happen. Memories of a smoke-filled field of battle begin to fill your mind. Atop a great hill overlooking the fighting you sat, mounted upon a massive four-legged beast. The braying of horns carried your orders to the troops below. Continue the memory. Even as you watched, your forces divided, fleeing left and right as the foreign army fought its way up the hill to slay the enemy lord, you. The fools, you had thought, lips curling into a wicked smile. My knights shall charge down the hillside and stop their advance in an instant, and at that very moment my retreating footmen will fall in to crush their flanks, and yet another victory soon to be mine. You suddenly realize Delora is watching you intently. Are you feeling well? We might take up the game another day if you wish. No, let's continue the game. Delora plays excellently, counteracting all but your most crafty moves, but eventually your feints and calculating maneuvers win over her well-crafted strategies. She nods approvingly as she begins to put the game away. You are a fine player, perhaps a master. I commend you for your skill. Thanks, but do you always play so mercilessly? Thanks, you mentioned debating before. I had some other questions for you, though. Delora casts her eyes to the floor with a sound that might be a sad sigh. I'm willing to serve you as a patron, but have no wish to answer other questions at this time. My apologies, but I fear you shall simply have to bear with that for the time being. Anything I can help you with?
Journal.
She looks up from the floor and into your eyes. Once more, you're struck by the pale smoothness of skin, the cold depths of her silvery eyes. No, I fear not. My troubles are a matter of the heart. In time, I think all things shall be resolved. Are you certain there's nothing I could do? Certain? Delora pauses, as if thinking, No, I'm not. My first love, Merriman, possesses still the keys to my heart. So long as he has them, I shan't be free to love another. This is the cause of my melancholy. Why don't you seek him out? Speak with him. Delora shakes her head. I may not leave this place. The reasons why are deeply personal, and not to be shared with strangers, even ones who might bestow a kindness upon me. But suffice to say that I cannot seek out Merriman myself. Then I'll find this Merriman and speak to him on your behalf.
Updated my journal.
Delora nods, the slightest hint of a smile appearing on her lips. She bows her head. Were you to find and speak to Merriman, I would be most grateful. He is a member of the Society of Sensation, so you may wish to ask for him at the Civic Fest Hall. I'll return when I find him. Farewell. I am still very curious about these Modrons. Okay, I think I'm going to have to go through all of these doors to try to find that other woman's scent. Alright, Fall from Grace. You appear to be a demon? Before you is a... Oh, okay, you are a succubus. Before you is a stunning golden-haired woman dressed in an azure and violet dress, with two long, elegant wings draped across her shoulders. She is surveying the room with a slight smile. She is easily the most beautiful woman you have ever seen. Greetings.
Well met, traveler. How may I help you?
Oh. The woman turns as you address her. She takes your measure, then nods slightly. You notice her eyes are azure, the exact same color as her dress. Well met, traveler. She reaches up to brush back a stray lock of golden hair. How may I help you? Who are you?
Updated my journal.
I'm called Fall from Grace. She studies you for a moment. You are new to Sigil, are you not? Yes, I am. Does it show? She smiles slightly. Not as much as you might think. You carry yourself quite well. What is this place? This is the brothel of slanting intellectual lusts. She studies you for a moment. I take it by your question that you did not intend to partake of this establishment. Brothel of slanting intellectual lusts? What kind of brothel is this? I established this brothel to give those lustful fevers that strike the mind more avenues of expression, rather than the simply carnal. Much pleasure can be had in conversation and engaging in the verbal arts with others. I established this brothel... okay, so, Mort. Sounds dull. I assure you it is not. Tour the brothel, see for yourselves. So this is a brothel where there's no... Okay, I'm not about to ask that. I have to ask, why did you establish such a place? Okay, can I ask you some other questions? If I may ask, Lady Grace, the wings on your back, you are not human, I take it. She's one of the fiends, one of the succubi she is. She'll take your measure, then she'll take your soul to the lower planes, so she will. Your companion is correct. I am a lesser Tenari, more specifically a succubus. She gives a soft sigh. I'm afraid we're a little too common in the lower planes and elsewhere for our own good. Most of my race spend their time seducing mortals with various pleasures of the flesh. And
Updated
you?
my journal.
I'd like to think that I have distanced myself from that. It is ultimately a trivial and non-productive way for one to spend one's time here in the multiverse. There is much more to life, wouldn't you agree? Perhaps so. Can I ask you some other questions? Let's see. Have you ever heard of a night hag named Ravel? I am familiar with the name. Fall from Grace pauses and thinks for a moment. Rumors cluster thickly about that name, and most tend to discount her as myth, but I suspect that she did exist, and that she made quite an impression in the cage during her stay here. She looks puzzled. Why do you ask? I intend to seek her out. Grace raises an eyebrow. Truly, I find myself compelled to ask why. I need information that she has. Is this information available from no one else? I suspect that only Ravel possesses the knowledge I need.
Updated my journal.
Grace rests her hand slightly on your arm. Consider this. If Ravel does indeed exist, then she is extremely powerful and cunning. If a fraction of the stories of her activities are true, then she is a creature that has discovered new meanings of evil. To search for her is not a quest to be undertaken lightly. I realize that. Do you know anything else about her? She was said to be one of the hags of the Grey Waste, and that she was believed to possess powers and a cunning far beyond those of her sisters. She came to Sigil long ago, and in addition to the evil she committed during her stay, rumor has it that her actions threatened the cage itself. Now she primarily exists only as fiction, a figure in child stories. Grace pauses. I imagine the Lady of Pain dealt with her as all threats to Sigil are dealt with. How?
Updated my journal.
Revel is most likely sent to a maze, one of the Lady's prisons. What are the Grey Wastes? A blighted plain that lies effectively between Bator and the Abyss. It is frequently a battleground in the Blood War. Let's see. Is there anyone else that might know about her? Someone in the Fest Hall may know more of her. Can I see something else?
Journal.
I came here looking for help. Perhaps you can help me. Help? What kind of help were you looking for? I seem to have lost my memories. In doing so, I've lost myself. You have been stricken with amnesia. Fall from Grace looks pained. How terrible. Do you have any idea how it happened? Not really. At least, not that I can remember. I woke up on a slab in the mortuary, and everything before that is black. You woke in the mortuary? I think the dustbin mistook me for being dead. Or I was dead, or something. All I know is that I regenerate wounds quickly. I could be immortal, but I don't even know that for sure. Fall from Grace seems to be appraising you with renewed interest. Those scars on your body, she reaches out a hand, as if to touch you. May I? Yes. Fall from Grace drags her fingers across your chest lightly, tracing the edges of your scars and following the curves where they blend into some of your tattoos. She seems fascinated. These scars do look as if they would have taken several lifetimes to accumulate. They certainly do, though some are more recent. Far from Grace steps back. Some of these wounds would have been fatal to a normal man. She taps her chin, thinking, what do you intend to do now? And to get my memories back and my life back, I intend to scour the plains and search inside myself until I can piece together who I am and what brought me to this state. Yeah. Far from Grace is still thinking, her finger tapping on her chin. I must say, I've never met a man who had lost himself in the literal sense. She raises an eyebrow. Forgive me, but your condition is intriguing. Well, I'm glad you think so. Frightening is more like, I don't like not knowing who I am, what I may have done, who my enemies are, and who my friends are. Well, I'm glad you think so, yeah. If I offended you with my words, Fall from Grace bows her head. I give my apologies, if you will have it. Oh, no, yeah, no harm done. Fall from Grace nods. If it will help, you are welcome to tour the brothel. Several of our students are well versed in the verbal arts. Perhaps some of them will be able to rekindle your memories. I may do that. Can I ask you some other questions?
My journal.
Why not? Would you like to join me on my travels? Anna stiffens, then starts muttering under her breath. Who's to say she'll be coming with us? We don't need the likes of her, so's we don't. Mort. Bar that fiendling. Mort clicks his teeth together. I'm all for the succubus coming with us. The powers know you're about as fun as passing a caltrop through your bowels. You'd best latch your bone box, Sculler. I'll rattle you so hard, they'll be picking your teeth off the spire. Travel with you? Fall from Grace smiles slightly. She seems to be ignoring her companions. That's rather forward of you. I'd rather be honest with my intentions. You seem extremely pleasant and well-versed in the ways of the plains. A companion with that kind of knowledge would be welcome. Yeah. Hey, wait just a minute. I'm the one well-versed in the plains. That's my job, Chief. Having two people knowledgeable about the plains in our band seems pretty smart to me. Besides, I said pleasant, too, Mort. Pleasant on the eyes, maybe. Looks to me like all some chit has to do is show a little skin, and you'll sign her right up. Mort falls silent. Not that I mind that, really. I just thought I'd mention it. Noted, Mort. Look, Lady Grace, excuse me if I'm being too forward, but would you care to travel with us? I appreciate your candor. I shall consider with some of my own, or I shall counter with some of my own. Why should I travel with you? You mean you wouldn't be interested in traveling with an immortal amnesiac who is searching the plains for himself? I intend to travel to places perhaps no one else has ever been to or could reach. Would that interest you? Oh, I would be extremely interested, she smiles slightly. Such a suggestion is intriguing, make no mistake about it. Then you would like to travel with me, then? If you wish me to, then there is something you must do for me. There are 10 students in this establishment. I would like you to speak to all of them, then return to me with your thoughts. Then, we shall see if we shall travel together or not. Very well. I will go speak with them. I will return when I've spoken to all of them.
Updated my journal.
I'm gonna save. Student? No. This is a research journal of a linguist named Phenom. What? Hang on. Anna,
Aye,
please take this.
might as well.
Okay, please. Why would you...
Done.
As you make to search the armoire, its handles suddenly yank out of your grasp as the drawers slam themselves shut. A disdainful humph issues from the cabinet. Hello? Hello indeed. The armoire gives another humph. So, what have we here, O rogue, after some ladies' frilly undergarments? You talk? Do I? Why, yes, I do. Who are... Oops. I clicked the wrong thing. Well, let's see. What are you doing here? Well, sir, if you must know, I am being an armoire. But why are you being an armoire in this brothel? I happen to have become an armoire because I want to be an armoire, thank you very much. It's not to watch the ladies undressing, nor to have them place their soft, sweet-smelling undergarments in my drawers where they can rub against my skin. Such accusations are an insult to a practitioner of the magic arts. I am merely soaking in the experience of what it means to be an armoire. The sights, the smells, the sensations. So all the women know about this then? Yes, they do, and they wholeheartedly approve of. Well, not with their entire hearts exactly. And while they have not spoken of their approval of my presence, since they are not exactly aware that I am an armoire, I would not want them to know that I am anything but, and so have not been able to inquire upon the matter. I need something from you to keep quiet about this one. Oh, no, I'll need something from you to keep quiet about this one. Very well, posh! Open the third drawer, you scallywag. As you reach your hand into the drawer, it slams shut on your fingers with great force. Searing pain races through your hand as you withdraw your battered fingers. Ha ha! Cretin! Idiot! Open the drawers, I said, and you've reached in. He slams his drawers again for emphasis, then begins shaking with laughter. I'm going to tell them right now. First, I would tell you this one thing. I have been popping in and out of the brothel for a good long time. I'm quite knowledgeable regarding both the occupants and their activities. I assure you that talking about me is utterly worthless. Not only will you lose me as a potential source of information, but I'll simply disappear before someone comes to investigate your claims, leaving you looking the fool. Maybe I'll just chop you up for kindling then. You'll do nothing of the sort. Why, even the most common of men knows that one can't commit an act of violence within the brothel. You'll simply be cast out, and even if that were not the case, I assure you my command of the art is quite impressive. I had some other questions for you then. Can you return to your normal form at will? The armoire seems to think about this for a moment. I have no need to share such secrets with the likes of you, and besides, there is no cause to change back at the present moment, since I have not yet experienced the full sensations of being an armoire. It is a complex thing to hold and sort soft, frilly clothes smelling of wondrous woman smells. A drawer slides open and closes, the sound mimicking a pleasant sigh. I'm trying to find Vivian's scent. Do you know where it might be? Oh dear, yes, I had heard about that. Most unfortunate. Did you ever have the exquisite pleasure of breathing in that scent of hers? The armoire's drawers seemed to shudder with delight. Absolutely wondrous it was, but sadly no. I know not where good Lady Vivian's scent might be found. What a ravel puzzle well. Few folk who've dwelt in Sigil for any length of time don't. I must wonder, though, what is it about her you wish to know? I need to find her. You're mad, you know, quite mad. Utterly barmy, I believe, is the common term for it. Ravel was banished from Sigil long ago, and if she's not dead, you'll wish you were, should you somehow succeed in finding her. She devoured all those who sought her out before, it is said, and will likely do you the same disservice. I would leave well enough alone. Alright, well, sure. See you later, weirdo. You're the one with the scent, right? Yeah. Juliet. What you got over here? Okay, well, I'm not about to pop that open. This dark hair... well, she looks like she actually has white or gray hair instead of dark hair, but sure. This dark-haired young woman is staring listlessly off into space, sighing miserably and occasionally picking at the seams of her green velvet gown. It's difficult to discern whether she's depressed or simply bored. Whew, excuse me. Greetings. She gives you only the briefest of glances before staring off into the distance once more. Greetings, yes, I am named Juliet. How may I... Oh, never thou mind. Leave me be, please, she gives an exasperated sigh. What's wrong? Oh, nothing at all, only that I spend my days gazing into the face of mediocrity, seeing if anything can erase its dreadful, tedious passage. Is your life so tedious? Alas, it is, she sighs, closing her eyes and massaging her temples. Dreadfully boring. Perhaps I could make it less boring for you, milady? No, 'tis kind of thee to offer, though. I'm already with a man, sir, and I do love him dearly. 'Tis just that I wish... She taps her finger against her chin. Something more of our liaison? Is the relationship lacking, then? The only thing it lacks is excitement, sir. Our families took the news of our courtship splendidly. His siblings love my siblings, and our friends think our union is our union to be blessed by the powers themselves. All fine and good, but things are going, she frowns, so smoothly. 'Tis not right to have such a trouble-free courtship. I don't know about that. Dost thou not? Hast thou ever had such a courtship? She glances briefly at you. 'Twould seem that thy life is filled with a variety of problems, judging by the pallor of thy skin. I can't remember any courtships I've had. The remnants of ones I have encountered suggest that I may have had some problems. 'Tis just that all my friends have such interesting relationships. One's fraught with turmoil, feuding families, daggers at one another's backs, poison, mad siblings, and irate fathers with large swords. I have a lover whose family loves me and whom the world loves. She sighs again. A great source of annoyance. How I wish I could formulate some way to spice things up. Mort floats close to you, whispering, I feel sorry for her lover. He doesn't know how bad he is at it. A chit like this is nothing but trouble. That doesn't sound wise, Juliet. Relish what you have. I wish to experience troubles, though. I wish to experience the ups and downs of courtship, but with him, no other. She sighs. As such a thing is love. It can be as dull as a club, and is of no use to an aspiring sensate. What did you have in mind to spice things up? I'm not sure. Some element of danger or jealousy, something intense. Why don't you have an affair? Or why don't you make up some fake love letters from a hidden affair? I can pretend to be a jealous suitor if you want. Juliet glances at you, then scoffs. Oh, I highly doubt the... Actually, the idea is not half as addled as I had first thought. Thou dost certainly look dangerous enough. She looks you in the eye as if appraising a horse. God damn it. Art thou as rugged and tough as thy appearance would indicate? They don't make them any tougher than me, I assure you. Thou shalt do this for me, then? Yes, I'll do it. Excellent. My love Montague may be found in the Civic Fest Hall. I thank thee. Of course, I'll go speak to him. Farewell.
My journal.
Oh, boy. Nenny Nine Eyes. Handkerchief. This is an unremarkable silk handkerchief. Alright, well, I get the feeling that I might need that at some point, but for now, no. This petite, attractive young woman is smiling blissfully and humming to herself. Her wide, pale blue eyes seem to constantly drink in her surroundings as she looks about. Greetings. The smiling young woman curtsies gracefully and looks up to you smiling. Well met, good sir. I'm Nenny. And how are you in this fine She suddenly notices your scars and places a gloved hand over her mouth. Oh my, you're hurt. She blinks all over. Mort spins around you, mocking the girl's obviousness. Powers above, Chief. She's right. I never noticed before. You're covered in scars. They're all old scars. I'm fine. She nods quietly, lowering her hand. I have some questions for you. Huh? She can't seem to tear her eyes from your scars. Oh, how shameful of me. Don't mind my rude staring. I am named Nenny. She makes a little curtsy. And it is my great pleasure to welcome you to our brothel for the slating of intellectual lusts. She returns to staring at your body. You have tattoos under those scars, too. What's that one? She points to one of your tattoos. That one's... Looks fascinating. Look at the way the lines of ink... I think that's ink. She squints at the tattoo, then reaches out to touch it. Allow her to touch it. I think that's ink. She traces a finger around the edge of the tattoo. Is it ink? And what a pattern. Look at the way the lines intersect here. She touches the center of the tattoo. That's simply amazing. She purses her lips and frowns in disappointment. I could make it out better if there weren't so many scars. There's nothing to be done. They're permanent. Oh, I'm sorry. Pox on me for even mentioning them. She cringes. But I have to know, are you absolutely sure you're all right? I'm looking at you and I can't help but believe that you're not in some pain. I have amnesia, but that's all. Amnesia? Nenny blinks, then brightens. Loss of memory? You are so lucky, she chimes perkily. Everything must be so new to you. There is truth in that, but newness is unwelcome. That's an angle I hadn't considered. Nenny claps her hands delightedly. I'm so pleased. I could open your mind to that idea. I've heard that's what being a sensate is all about. Bringing new experiences to others. Trying to find Vivian's scent. Do you know where it might be? Then he frowns deeply. What? Oh, I just can't. I can't say anything bad about anyone. I'm just no good at it. It's not bad to point out a thief, Nenny. Oh, but I don't know if she's a thief. Then he bites her lip and looks at you with pleading eyes as if she just wishes you'd leave the topic alone. Look, why don't you try and say something not nice about her? Oh, all right. Nenny puts her hands on her hips and frowns deeply, almost exaggeratedly. You resist the temptation to laugh. Oh, I dislike her very, very much. She pauses for a moment, then looks at you out of the corner of her eye, as if gauging your reaction. Was that convincing? No, not really. Then he frowns. I knew I wouldn't be any good at this. She looks up at you, depressed. Do you know how hard it is to say bad things about someone? It feels so wrong. Why don't you practice on me? You know what? Forget it. Wait, actually, you know what? Hang on. Why don't you practice on me? I suppose I could try. She looks dubious. You big, mean, nasty brute. She puts her hands on her hips. Meanie. She looks at you. How was that? Put more accent on brute. Try hitting me? You big, mean, nasty brute. Better. Now hit me. Then he clamps her hands over her mouth, looking shocked. Oh, I couldn't. I mustn't. She blinks. How does one hit someone anyway? Go ahead. Do it lightly. If you have to. Remember, I'm a mean, nasty brute. I deserve it. Then he slaps you. You barely feel it. She still looks shocked and frightened she hurt you. Oh, I'm sorry. Did that hurt? Tell me you're okay. Don't break character, Nenny. Come on now. Come on. Show me what you've got. You can say something bad. Just let it all out. Oh, I mean... Oh, Nenny draws her tiny frame to its full height, balls her hands into fists, puts them on her hips, and scrunches up her face in a cute scowl. Oh, damned be you. You deserve that for all the indignities you put me through. Going out late at night, her eyes roam up and down your body, getting into fights and getting all scarred up. What are the kids going to think? Excellent. Oh, don't you excellent me, like I'm some backlicker, looking for your approval. I am my own woman, and this woman is about to walk out of your life unless I get some solid commitment. Alright, that's enough out of you. Time. Yeah. Then he sighs tiredly. Whew, that was easier than I thought. No kidding. Ooh. And I'm sure I'll do better next time. I'm so excited to have learned something new. Thank you. Sure.
Updated my journal.
Vivian sent. Maybe I saw that mean Marissa sneaking out of Vivian's room one night. Now, I'm not saying she took it, but I know Marissa's not a very nice person, and that sure sounds suspicious, huh? I'd go ask her about it. Nenny nods. Thank you, Nenny. Do you know anything about Ravel Puzzlewell? No, sorry, that's a great name, though, huh? I'll bet she's a really interesting person. Hey, you should ask Yves about her. Yves collects all kinds of stories. Thanks. Echo. The striking young woman has skin the color of burnished copper. A translucent white dress, held precariously by golden clasps, is draped carefully over her shapely form. The woman nods and smiles briefly. The scent of her hair, sweetly perfumed, fills your nostrils. I have some questions for you. She nods. Who are you? She smiles and curtsies, but offers no response. Can you speak? She shakes her head and smiles sadly at you.
Updated my journal.
I love this shit already. Can you write then? Or pantomime? She pouts, shaking her head. May I ask why you can't communicate? She sighs softly and nods. Actually, let me ask you something else. May I ask why you can't communicate? Alright. She looks at you and then raises an eyebrow. Ravel puzzle well. Her eyes flash and she smiles. She nods at you. What? What do you know of her?
Updated my journal.
She simply looks at you. May I ask why you can't communicate? She shakes her head, shrugging, and gives you an apologetic look. Weird. I wonder why I can't talk to her at all. It just seems strange, right? Okay, there doesn't appear to be anybody in here. Or here. Let's see. Take the commons. Yeah. All right, Anna.
Why not?
Please get this earring for me. Thank you. Oh, god damn it. Mort.
Okay.
All right, talk to her, please. Squinting at the figure behind the partition, you can barely make out a shapely female form in the darkness. She turns to you, but you can see nothing of her face. Greetings. The figure answers in a voice that is slow and deadly, like a steel dagger drawn across stone. Yes, come to speak with Marissa, have you? Quite rude of you to enter a darkened room, storming behind my partition like so rude and foolhardy. You can hear a faint whispering sound, like a slight breeze, or the hissing of serpents. Oh boy. More whispers quietly. Whoa, creepy shit. My apologies, my lady. I wasn't sure if someone was here. The one gives a slight humph. But it would seem there is someone in this room, wouldn't it? Shall you be on your way, then? Not just yet. I had some questions for you. Why do you remain behind the screen? Because she's a Medusa, is my guess. Is it your wish that I step away from this partition into some patch of light and speak to you face to face? Marissa laughs, and there is the sound of scales sliding on scales. Nay, I think not. The darkness suits me, and doubtless suits you as well. Why is it so dark in here? To prevent any unwanted and embarrassing casualties. Now, what is it that you want? I want you to come into the light. Nay, and the addition of please will not serve to persuade me. Now, what do you want? Surely you did not come all this way to see me. I do want to see what you look like. You have no such want. Oh, I do. What do you look like? The darkness hides us both. Let's make it a game. I'm frightfully bored. Let me guess. Are you a human male? I think so. You think so? How could it not know? It's kind of complicated. Indeed, it must be too great for a mere mind such as mine to grasp. I really have no sure idea of what I am. Truly, it's almost interesting. There is the sound of hissing in the darkness. Describe yourself to me. I'm tall, muscular, and horribly scarred. Indeed? She pauses for a moment. How were you so horribly scarred? Wait, never mind, I do not wish to know. Now describe yourself for me. Marissa describes herself as a shapely, pale-skinned, beautiful woman with a forked tongue, hair made up of writhing asps, and glowing eyes which you assume she must be keeping shut. Are you a fiend?
Updated my journal.
Marissa laughs lightly, the sound accompanied by a slight hissing. No, hardly. Though I have powers some might call fiendish. My glance turns living things to stone, for instance. From beings of flesh to statuary with the bat of an eyelash. Living things to stone. Could you turn, say, a limb into a statue?
Updated my journal.
I suppose I could. Had you a limb and were I inclined to do so, and I might be so inclined had I my crimson veil, but I do not know where it has gone. Have you seen it, perchance? No, what's it for? Is it just normal veil? Marissa sighs quietly. Not quite. It aids me in communication, face-to-face communication, that is. Why do you need to hide your face? Enough with these asinine questions. How tiresomely annoying you are. Now, what do you want? What can you tell me about the silent prostitute? Yes, Echo. I knew another Echo once, though her name was written differently. I know nothing of this girl, though. Ask Dolora of her. She made friends of an old lover of Echo's, I have heard. I was told you were seen sneaking away from Vivian's chambers recently. Is that connected with her missing scent somehow? Actually, I'm going to ask her if she just knows where it is. No, I have not a clue.
Updated my journal.
Marissa says nothing, though an angry hissing issues from the darkness around her. Yes, I've been known to creep into Vivian's chambers for some of her perfumes, though I doubt you'll meet another here who hasn't. If you're implying that I've got her personal scent, well, feel free to sniff around. You'll not find it on me or in my chambers, I assure you. Perhaps whoever took my crimson veil took Vivian's scent as well. Alright, we're going to ask about the Limloon again, and that's it. Okay. I don't know why we would turn a Limlim into a statue, though. Maybe that's for another quest? That's my guess. Caesiceris. This alarmingly voluptuous woman, alarmingly voluptuous, has a thick mane of wavy raven-colored hair, bluish skin, and shimmering crimson eyes with like rubies, which have fires lit behind them. Though she is not beautiful in the typical sense of the word, her features are exotic and not altogether unattractive. Greetings. The woman's voice is deep and sensuous. And my greetings to you... Oh my god, excuse me. And my greetings to you, sir. Her burning eyes roam over you. I'm Caesiceris. So tell me, what might I do for you, Anything, Mort cries. Do anything you want to me. Kensai laughs heartily, revealing canines long enough to be considered fangs. She shakes her head and smiles at Mort. Truly, though, please, what can I do for you? Well, what do you usually do for patrons? Talk, of course, usually about dreams, often those erotic in nature, but not always. Kasai winks at you, smiling. So, would you like to tell me yours? Don't be shy, I've heard everything, you know. Nothing will shock or surprise me. And I so love to hear people's dreams. We can trade if you'd like to, but you must go first. My dreams were recently revised when I saw you, my... Oh, that's just so corny. I don't have dreams, actually. Kasai arches her eyebrows in surprise. Truly? How sad. Even fiends and divas dream, you know. Are you certain you don't? Quite certain, no dreams at all. Too peculiar. I'm at a loss as to what to say. Well, I did have some questions for you. If you don't mind me asking, what are you? Kasai shakes her head. What, can't you tell? She draws herself up, thrusting her ample bosom towards you. A woman! She raises an eyebrow. I can see my answer does not please you. I am pale-touched. Or plain-touched, actually. Like your friend here, Kasai indicates Anna. That's what you need to know. Alright, so you're a form of tiefling, I suppose? Let's see. Two Motrons driven mechanical what is that? Barrier? It's I'm assuming that's some sheep person. Which, by the way, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is a wonderful book. What can you tell me about the silent prostitute? Yes, that's Echo. She's very sweet, but so quiet. I understand that she said something once which caused some great tragedy, and because of that, she'll never speak again. Kasai shrugs, smiling. An interesting enough story, but I don't know if it's true. Try asking Dolora. I've seen her talking to an ex-lover of Echo back from a time when Echo was speaking. What about Vivian's scent?
My journal.
No, I don't. Kasai frowns. Most of the women will say she's prissy, but she's always been nice enough to me, complimenting me on my eyes, and she smells so good. I hope she finds her own scent again soon. Try asking Nenny about it. She's everywhere at once and might have seen something. You do have lovely eyes, you know. Anna sneers, rolling her eyes. Idjit. Ignore Anna's comment. Let's see. Kasai Sarah shrugs and looks back to you. Why, thank you. You can see them glowing in the dark, you know. Bizarre, no? She pauses to look at you. You've some nice eyes, too. So dark and mysterious. So full of character. Thank you. I'm trying to find Marissa's Crimson Veil. Do you know where it might be?
Updated my journal.
No, I haven't seen it since the last time she wore it. She wore it out. But Nenny might have seen something, so try asking her. I'll admit it's been nice. Marissa won't leave her chamber without the veil, and so we've all been spared her foul tongue, leaving us only Kamaskisi? I don't know how to pronounce that. To deal with. Kasai smirks. That person's the worst of the two, though. How so? Marissa's haughty and mean, but that person, she's a bitter, spiteful monster of a woman, with a venomous tongue and a demeanor of a Baelor. I can't see why anyone would like to speak with her. I sincerely doubt her appearance makes up for that flaying, poisonous mouth of hers. But, she receives patrons nonetheless. What do you know about Ravel? No, nothing. Are you sure? You seem suddenly upset. She narrows her red eyes at you. Of course I'm sure. Don't ask me of her again. Alright, well, see ya. Everybody's telling me to talk to Dollara. Help get me inside this room, please. Handkerchief. Anna, would you please so kindly bust this open since no one's here? Okay, I was thinking maybe the handkerchief would be in there, or not the handkerchief, the other thing, the veil. Okay. Addertongue, the wild-looking tiefling girl meets your gaze with an angry scowl. Her tattooed body is practically naked, covered by only a narrow leather thong, a black cloth brassiere, and armored shoulder pads that appear to serve more as decoration rather than actual protection. Her spiked hair, as well as the thin fur that covers her goat-like legs, is brassy white, and numerous silver rings dangle from her ears, nostrils, lips, and brow. She wears a leather collar around her throat with the inscription, Kamaskisi Addertongue. Greetings! She bares her teeth at you, and just what are you looking at, you banged-up sod? My friend thought you were attractive, but whoa, was he ever horribly mistaken? She sneers at Mort, then looks below him, where a body would normally be. Sharp tongue for a stemless deader. That's enough. Sure, Chief, whatever. What a witch, huh? Mort humps, then waggles his eyebrows. I like that. I'm sure you do, Mort, but I need to talk to her. The tiefling rolls her eyes. What makes you think I care? Why don't you lick my backside? My tongue's not wide enough, and I don't like hair in my mouth. Well, you seem to like the taste of awful in your mouth, you dung-breathed cretin, only because it's like kissing you, you mangy stinkpot. Kiss me, she makes a retching sound. I'd rather kiss a bloody mass of phlegm than lay my lips on you, no thanks. Don't thank me, thank the power someone actually wants to kiss you. She looks at a loss for something to say. For an instant, a smile threatens to crack the grimacing mask of her face. Then she becomes more of a basilisk than ever. All right, what do you want from me? Questions answered. She looks annoyed. Fine, whatever, ask. Who are you? My name? Uninterested. I can guess yours, though. Scar Bunch, get out of here before I put a fire under your arse. Oh, God. What do you do here? Not you, that's for certain. She smirks at you. I'm contemplating the best way to tell you to pike off next. Say, can you teach Mort here to be more abusive? She raises her eyebrows. Now that's an unusual request. I don't know, it seems pretty foul-mouthed already. That's he, seems pretty foul-mouthed. Whatever bladder dung, you scruffy goat-gammed harlot. You wish you had legs like mine, you pitiful wretch of a bone box. I can walk, run, dance. What do? Bob around wishing you had a pair of goats or otherwise? The two of them lay into one another, exchanging barbed, blistering insults and clashing with razor-edged tongues. Wait for it to end. At last, the two stop their bickering, and eerie silence settles over them as they eye one another hatefully. Finally, the tiefling makes a grudging admission to Mort. You're not bad, really. Not bad at all. Better than you, perhaps. Mort waggles his eyebrows at her. Eh? She narrows her eyes at Mort. Don't push it, skull.
New taunts, all right.
I won't, tiefling. I'll admit I might have learned a thing or two, though. Good thinking, Chief. Sure thing, Mort. She turns to you. So, was that all you wanted? I'm not spending any more time near you than I have to. I do have some other things to ask you. What do you know about the silent prostitute? What, that echo chit? Don't know anything about her. Don't talk to the girl. I mean, why? Not like she can talk back. Ask Frigid Dollar about her. Frigid? I think I saw her playing Go with an old crush of Echoes, back from when she could talk. Alrighty. She looks annoyed. Fine, perhaps. Okay, whatever. Vivian's scent. Try a hive gutter, or perhaps that's just a similar aroma. To be serious, though, Marissa stole it. Marissa? Are you sure? No, but I'm hoping you'll go stomping into her room and upset her enough to do something awful to you. Alright. What about the Crimson Veil? She smirks. Up your arse, perhaps. Hells, I don't know. She smooths back her hair, which instantly springs back up into a spiky mess. What about Ravel Puzzlewell? What would I know about her? I look like a scholar or something to you? Go ask someone more learned. Or Yves, she'll probably have at least one story about her in that pile of tales she carries about in her bone box. Oh, and squat on a halberd while you're at it. Good lord. Alright, see you later, weirdo. Means that Mort's taunt ability has been improved. Several insults are out there just waiting for Mort to hear. And so that's why letting him talk to the that harlot that like cursed him out was a good idea then. Ooh, excuse me. Yves the Tail Chaser. This fetching young woman has a faraway look in her soft green eyes. Greetings. Greetings, I am Yves, the Tail Chaser. What a coincidence, I too chase tails. Yves continues unperturbed. Have you come to trade tales? I'd like to trade tales. Yves nods. I would like that very much, yes. Tell her a story of your waking up in the mortuary. Yves leans forward as you tell the tale of your waking in the Dustman mortuary. She seems to devour your every word. As you finish, she smiles at you. I shall remember this tale. I too will tell a tale of the Dustmen. Chapters of Dust. Go on. Ooh. There are chapters in the Dead Book, the massive tome which the Dustmen keep that records the passing of all that lives into the eternal boundary. In this book, there are chapters that are naught but dust, and it is believed that the names therein are lost souls who cannot die, but must suffer life eternally until history itself dies and grants them release. I have another tale to share with you. The Alley of Lingering Sighs. Yves leans forward as you tell a tale of the alley giving birth. She seems to devour your every word. As you finish, she smiles at you. I shall remember this tale. And now I have one for you. Before I begin, I must ask, do you know what a modron is? Yes. Then I shall tell you the tale of the clock and the quadron. Quadron? Go on. Once upon a time, there existed a modron. It was newly created, its logic fresh and untested, and it had come to Sigil following the commands of its modron superiors. Go on. It knew of nothing but commands and dictates, of obedience and passing along the orders of its superiors. For you see, modrons are only aware of the commands of their immediate superiors. They have no grasp of the higher authority until this one. Go on. One day it came upon a small shop, within which there was a small clock that could no longer tell time. It was cracked along the edges, the wheels of its hands broken. The Modron immediately set itself to work at getting the parts to fix the broken clock. Go on. It made a new wooden housing for the clock's parts, replaced the bent springs, carefully filed and oiled the clockwork machinery, and carved new hands from the sparse metals available to it. The newly repaired clock's precise ticking reminded it of the great gears of Mechanus, and it comforted it as much as anything may comfort a Modron. And what the Modron never came to understand was that it truly loved this clock that it had worked on, and for reasons it could not explain, elected to remain in Sigil and be with the clock for the rest of its years. I have another tale to share with you. Tell her the story of Requin's curse. Yves leans forward as you tell the tale of Requin's odiferous curse. She seems to devour your every word. As you finish, she smiles at you. I shall remember this tale, and now I have one for you, the Gilded Tale. Upon the plain of Ysgard, in the Gilded Hall, where those sensates that seek the pleasure of gullet and loin can be found, they indulge these passions in earnest, never realizing that the doors of the hall never open, and that there is no clear path back to the civic fest hall. They are the unwanted sensates, the ones that do not truly believe in the faction, but instead seek only pleasure for pleasure's sake. Are prisoners who do not realize they are such are prisoners who do not realize they are such truly that do not realize they are such truly prisoners. Hi. I have another tale to share with you. Ask one of your companions if they have a tale to share. Yves awaits your story patiently. Mort, do you have a story to trade? Me? Why do I have to tell a story? Just tell a story, Mort. Fine, fine. An elderly man was sitting alone on a dark path, right? He wasn't certain of which direction to go, and he'd forgotten both where he was traveling and who he was. He'd sat down for a moment to rest his weary legs, and suddenly looked up to see an elderly woman before him. She grinned toothlessly, and with a cackle spoke. Now, your third wish. What will it be? Go on, Mort. Third wish, the man was baffled. How can it be a third wish if I haven't had a first or second wish? You've had 2 wishes already, the hag said, but your second wish was for me to return everything to the way it was before you had made your first wish. That's why you remember nothing, because everything is the way it was before you made any wishes. She cackled at the poor Burke. So it is that you have 1 wish left. All right, said the man. I don't believe this, but there's no harm in wishing. I wish to know who I am. Funny, said the old woman as she granted his wish and disappeared forever. That was your first wish. Oh, shit. He's totally talking about us, I'm fairly certain. An interesting tale, Mort, and now I've one for you, and your companion, the Fiend's Game. A fiend sometimes wandered the wilderness of a certain prime world in the guise of a friendly old man. One day he came upon some hunters in the wood. What are you doing? The fiend asked. The hunters told him, and the fiend nodded. I have never been on a hunt before. The hunters invited the old man to come along, and the group eventually came upon a glade where several deer were grazing. The hunters carried crossbows but did not fire, and the fiend asked them why. They are unarmed, the hunters chuckled, patting their crossbows. We hunt nothing that does not have the ability to defend itself. After all, where is the sport in that? The fiend nodded at this, and promptly gated in 3 of his fellows. The hunters led them on a merry chase, but eventually they were caught and eaten. Oh boy. I have another tale to share with you. Ask one of your companions. Anna. I am no good at telling such things, I'm not. She frowns and waves her hands as if trying to shoo away the idea. Don't be asking me for such nonsense now. He smiles at Anna. But I would very much like to hear your story. Please share your story, Anna. Come on already, fiendling. You've already had 1 tale you won't part with. Anna looks uncomfortable, her tail lashing slowly back and forth. Well, I know 1 story, she suddenly becomes angry, glaring at Yves. But you might not like it. You won't, so don't be blaming me for your choking it out. For your choking it out of me. Go ahead. Anna scowls, then finally relents with an exasperated sigh. I heard a story when I was a wee lass. This Burke walking home real late near Anti Peak and passes an old toothless crone in the dark and otherwise empty street. Where you going? She asks him. Home to my wife and Kip, he says. Near the slag, she asks him. Sure enough. She asks him a favor. To take a box she's got to Debtor's Pit and give it to a woman there. Now this Burke's a real sap. Too nice to say no, despite the fact he's sure something's not quite right about this old crone. Whew. Excuse me. And agrees. But what's the woman's name? He asks. Where does she live? Where should I look for her when she's not by Debtor's Pit? The woman hands him the box, a wooden thing wrapped in colored cloth, and tells him to just go and she'll be there. Finally, she warns him, and whatever you does, do not open the box. So he takes it home with him and hides it in the rafters, thinking he'll bring it to the Debtor's Pit when it's light out. His wife, though, seeing him hide in the box, gets right jealous, thinking it's a gift for a lover or something, and opens it up as soon as he's not looking. Oh no. Well, turns out the box was full of gouged out eyes and severed male members with the hair still on them. Her scream brought the Burke running. He remembered what the crone said, got right scared, and wrapped the box back up. He went out straight away to Debtor's Pit, and sure enough, there was another old hag waiting there for him. He hands her the box, and she says to him, this box has been opened and looked into. Poor Burke tries to deny it, but she gets this dreadful look on her face. You've done something horrible, she tells him, then disappears. That done, he hurries back to his Kip. He's feeling ill when he gets back, and takes to bed. His wife bitterly regretted opening the box and all, but it was too late. The next day, he died of a rotten disease, and the first things to go was his eyes and stem. Anna nods grimly, her tale complete. Ugh. Eve smiles. That was a wonderful tale, Anna. You should never hesitate to share it. Now I've one for you and your companion. The parched land. Once, how much did we get? Probably 500. Yeah, 500. Once a large village was struck by a terrible drought. A farmer journeyed to the worshipping stone and again implored it as to the cause of the drought. He asked the stone why it did nothing when the fields were parched and dying, why the animals and the people suffered while the stone did not a thing. Have we not given enough offerings? The farmer asked, begging almost upon his hands and knees, but the stone did not respond. It merely sat and cast its shadow. I have another tale for you. Dakon. Dakon nods solemnly. I shall impart the tale of Akalai drowning. Dakon tells the story of Akalai, a foolish Githzerai of myth who had become lost in the chaos of limbo. Normally, a single Githzerai may use their focus and mental discipline to form the chaos around them into a small, habitable environment. Akalai, however, asked so many useless and unfocused questions in her quest to return home that her Isle of Manor dissolved around her and she drowned. Eve smiles. Fascinating, Dakon. Let me share with you and your companion another version of your tale that I have heard. Dakon looks attentive and perhaps a little surprised. Go on, Eves. Eves goes on to tell a different version of Dakon's tale, in which Akalai was driven from the Githzerai city of Shrakat Lor for her constant useless prattling. One day she encountered a Sladai, which is like a big frog-toad demon? It's not actually a demon, but it's an extraplanar horrible creature. On his way to the spawning stone. They're creatures of chaos. She hastily erected a wall of chaos matter, which even the ravenous Sladai found difficult to break down. Hungrily it waited and spoke to her through the wall. She asked it questions, and as she became more absorbed in her pointless queries and the Sladai's answers, her own wall decayed and collapsed upon her, and thus she drowned in the matter of limbo. Let me ask you a question. Why do they call you the Tail Chaser? Once upon a time, a girl came to an oracle who was rumored to know many things and asked of it a boon. Her life was in need of direction, so she asked this oracle as to what would give her purpose. Now the oracle was not evil, but it was vague and tended toward drink, which caused it to be obscure in many matters of judgment and focus. Its only answer to the girl's question was that within one story that she would hear in her lifetime was the truth that she sought. The girl went off and collected stories, which she chased to this day, not knowing which of the thousands hold the truth. Such is the danger of a foolish question and the wisdom of an unspoken one. What can you tell me about the silent prostitute? Echo used frowns, thinking, I once heard a tale of a girl who knew the word that, if spoken, would undo the multiverse. Perhaps this is Echo. As Dolora, though, I understand that she sometimes meets the one who knew Echo before she stopped speaking. What about Vivian's scent? Eve shakes her head. Speak with Nenny. She is forever pacing about, observing everything intently. What about the Crimson Veil? Let's see. She shakes her head. But Marissa's is an interesting tale. Would you hear it? Yes. Once upon a time, in a world of heroes and a time of petty childish gods, so she's talking about ancient Greece, there were 3 sisters, cursed with a hideous appearance, and so that's the Fates. They were considered demons by the people of the land and forever shunned. One missed her sisters terribly, yet left the world with its shame behind, but exchanged the pettiness of a pantheon for the pettiness of self. What do you know about Ravel Puzzlewell? The tale of Ravel Puzzlewell, frightener of children, begins and ends with a question. What can change the nature of a man? Go on. Many were the times she posed this riddle to those who approached her, those who sought to glean from her the strange magics that she alone seemed to possess. All attempted to answer her query, but to no avail, and they found the price of their wrong answer to be some horrible fate, always more terrible than the last victim's. To recount their various torments would be to speak of things that nightmares are woven from. The tales strike me in this way. Ravel herself knew not the answer to this question, but she lusted for such an answer. Only the why of the matter remained in question. Why did the nature of a man matter to one of the Grey Sisters, especially to one of such power as Ravel? Go on. It is said that she put the question to the Lady of Pain, not directly, but shouted it to Sigil itself, daring for the lady to answer. When no reply was forthcoming, she wove terrible magics to threaten to open the cage and let the fury of the plains roll in like a wave. She received no answer other than banishment. To this day, no one knows the answer to Ravel's question, and now there is no one to petition, for Ravel herself is gone, lost to the plains.
Updated my journal.
What else can you tell me of the silent prostitute? Oh, whoa. Okay, wait, there is more. Though my tale ends with Ravel's demise, there are more that claim the hag still lives. There is a silent prostitute here who once talked of such things, but she speaks no longer. If she would speak to you, she might tell you more of Ravel. What more can you tell me? Let's see. Alright. Wait, this door closed? Okay, that's the wardrobe. Did we already speak to Juliet? Oh, right, she's the one with the scent. Nenny! Nenny! Well, good sir, I'm Nenny, and how are you? This fine Oh, we've met before. Nenny giggles and smiles gleefully at you. I'm sorry. I knew you looked familiar, though. That's alright, Nenny, I had some questions for you. What can you tell me about the silent prostitute? Oh, Echo! Yes, she's a mysterious one, isn't she? Do you know that she never speaks? Truly, Nenny leans in and lowers her voice. I think she was emotionally wounded so badly that she may never speak again. I bet Dolora knows, because she sometimes talks to the last lover Echo had when she still spoke. What about the veil?
Updated my journal.
I'll bet I do. I saw that nasty person at her tongue sneaking out of Marissa's room one night. They're both meanies, you know, but that person's really awful. Anyway, I'd talk to her first. Thanks, Nenny. Bye. Where was Delora? I don't remember. You're Juliet. This was that room with the wardrobe. Is this one Delora? Indeed, what can change the nature of a man? Wait, where the hell is Delora? She wasn't the one that was over here, was she? No, oh, that is her! Wait, or am I thinking of Vivian? Ah, shit. Delora's eyes flash as she sees you. Did you find him? Has he agreed to return the keys to my heart? Not yet, Shit. So I'm probably gonna have to do a hell of a lot more looking around, huh? This room was empty. Wait a minute.
I'm here. Right.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. Mort,
Sure, why not?
get to thieving. I know this is horrible, but, like, I need the money. Alright. I think we gotta speak to Goat Lady again. I think there's a reason she closed her door. Oh, it's you again. Can't you just can't get enough of me, huh? I was told you were sneaking away from Marissa's chambers recently. Is that connected with her missing veil somehow? She flies into a rage. Who told you that? She suddenly falls silent, glaring at you through narrowed eyes. If I was there, Burke, I didn't take her filthy veil. Search my room if you'd like. I catch you sniffing at my britches, though. I'll see to it you're never allowed in here again. Why would anyone ever sniff at your britches?
My journal.
Beats me. Someone's nicked more than a few pairs of them. Someone's nicked more than a few pairs of them, though. My favorite leather brassiere, too, with the iron studs. She hums angry. It's the freaking wardrobe, isn't it? Let's see. Trying to find Marissa's crimson veil. Do you know where it might be? I heard she used to walk about in a crimson veil, but that she had recently taken to her room and darkened it. I did not know what had occurred. So this veil of hers is missing then? Yes. I've spoken to 9 prostitutes altogether. Do you know who or where the 10th student is? There is no 10th student. What is this rubbish you speak of? Will you tell me about the silent prostitute? Yes, Echo, she can't have always been mute, you know. Otherwise, I am most certain she would have learned some other means of communicating in the meantime. It must be a recent occurrence. Interesting. Modrons. Wait. Patron? I have some questions for you, sir. He looks slightly annoyed, but says nothing. You seem troubled. The man frowns. No, not quite troubled. I'm merely trying to puzzle out a way to win against Delora. Yes, she's quite an opponent. Look, I have things to think about, so if you wouldn't mind... Wait, I need to ask you something. The veil. No, I haven't spoken to Vivian in some time. I was unaware that she even had lost it. A pity, she did always have the most astounding erotic fragrance about her. What about Marissa's veil? No, I do not. Anything else? Do you know who or where the 10th student is? Shakes his head. No, I had understood there was only 9. What are you doing here? I'm resting after a resounding loss at the hands of Delora. I can feel I almost bested her this last time, though though, so I'm trying to think of what I can do to win the next time we play. What can you tell me about the silent prostitute? Nothing, really. Alright, well, see you then. This person seems strange. Kindly looking older man turns as you approach and nods politely. Greetings, something I might help you with. The 10th student. The old man frowns and scratches at his beard. If there is a 10th student, my young friend, I would be most eager to meet her, but as far as I know, there is none. Crimson Veil. He shakes his head. I know the veil of which you speak. Once or twice I have seen Marissa outside the brothel wearing her veil, but I do not know where it is now. The scent. No, I do not, and I fear that were it right beneath my own nose, I would not realize it. I have nearly no sense of smell remaining, you see. He taps his nose. Sadly, I know. Sad I know, but we all age. I'm told Vivian always gives off the most beautiful fragrance. What can you tell me about the silent prostitute? Ah, yes, the lovely creature would be Echo. A sweet young girl. So easy to talk to. Not just because she's silent, mind you, but there's simply something about her. He sighs happily. I'm unsure of why she won't speak, however. Alright. Delora. Alrighty. Where's... Wait, oh god, y'all are wandering about now. Cyceris smiles warmly as you draw near her, pushing a wavy lock of hair from her bright crimson eyes. Well, greetings once again, something I can do for you. Depends, what sort of things do you do? Talk requires blah blah blah. Alright, my dreams were recently revised when I saw you, my lady. Oh, no. Alright. Yeah, goodbye. Wait a minute. This older-looking noblewoman greets you with an elegant curtsy. Well met, sir. Might I be so bold as to say, before you ask anything of me, that I am a patron here, and not one of the students? You're a patron? She nods. That is correct, young sir. I came here one evening to see for myself why my husband was constantly paying visits to the place. I became fast friends with a number of the prostitutes, and so here I am. It's not only for men to enjoy a good conversation, you know. True enough, I had some questions for you, though. There are only 9 prostitutes that I know of, and I'm quite certain I've spoken to all of them. Perhaps there is a new girl who I have not met yet? I have other questions, though. The scent. No, I don't. You'd be the one, would be on about that for some time, though. She is most upset. Okay. The veil? The woman frowns sharply. Oh, I care not for that Marissa. Most unpleasant disposition has she. As for that veil of hers, no, I know nothing of it. Alright, well, see you later then. Y'all are just wandering about like crazy. Interesting. Alright, folks, well, I am going to go to bed. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. I will be doing this again on Monday, and maybe even perhaps on Thursday. I don't know. But in any case, I am going to take off, as I said. I hope you all have a fantastic night and a fantastic week. Praise the sun, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody.